everyone, welcome to the Zen Mobile Yoga YouTube channel. I'm Jennifer, and today we're going to be talking about itchy eyes, scratchy throat, runny noses, yes, allergy season. Did you know that almost 50% of us actually suffer from some sort of environmental allergy, whether it's mild or severe? And a lot of the times we mistake it for being a common cold because the symptoms are just as miserable. Doing yoga can have a stabilizing effect on the immune system, and with a regular practice, respiratory passages can improve, making it easier for your body to ward off allergens. And just like anything that affects your body, you want to see a physician. If anything, it's just to find out what specific allergens affect you, and this way maybe you can avoid some of them. So bottom line, any asana practice is going to help you get some relief from your allergies, but today we're going to focus on some specific poses to hopefully give you some relief of those symptoms. This video is going to be short enough to keep the attention span of a child, and also short enough to keep the attention span of an adult suffering from miserable allergies. Grab 1 or 2 small blankets that you can roll up so your blanket looks something like this. That will be long enough to support your spine. And meet me on the mat. If you have a stuffed up nose at this time, of course you can exhale through the mouth. But normally we would inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. It's important that you listen to your body, and I want to make sure that you're getting as much air as possible. Okay, so we can do this sitting down on a mat or sitting on a chair. It really doesn't matter. But we're going to make sure that we're sitting so that this upper half of the body is nice and long and tall. And we're going to start with what's called the asthma breath. And it's called this because it opens up the front of the body, it opens up the lungs, and it helps more air get in, okay? So go ahead and just bring the arms up, breathing in. Interlace the fingers, and as you exhale, bring those hands down to the heart. And we're going to do this quite a few times. Inhale, reach up, open the chest as much as you can. Interlace the fingers, and then exhale, bring the hands slowly down to the heart. Again, inhale. As deep as you can, inhale completely, and then exhale, bring the hands down to the heart. Again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, release. Last time, inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands down to the heart. Next, we're going to do what's called the 2-part breath. And what helps me with this is putting one hand on the belly and one hand on the chest. Now, when we breathe in, we're usually not using 100% of our lung capacity, so we're not getting as much oxygen as we can. So when we have allergies, that makes everything worse. So we're going to do this to just kind of get some breath flowing through the body. So as you inhale, you're going to inhale from the belly and feel the hand rise as the belly inflates. And then you're going to carry that breath up to the chest as the second part of the breath. So you'll feel the chest rise, and then you will just exhale normally. So go ahead and inhale, belly, chest, exhale. Inhale, belly, chest, exhale. Again, inhale, belly, chest, exhale. Good. For the next pose, you need to come to hands and knees. So we're going to do Betalasana, or what is also known as the cat pose. And as we move the spine and manipulate it, back and forth, this actually helps press and squeeze any crud that's in the lungs. So any matter that is in the lungs is going to help move it. Okay, so get things moving. And you just have your hands and knees hip width and shoulder width apart. And as you breathe in, you're going to dip your belly or drop your spine towards the mat, raise your tail, lift your chin. And then as you exhale, you're going to round the spine, starting with the tailbone, up through the shoulder blades, and then drop the head. And then again, inhale. And you can go, faster than I'm going. You can go slower than I'm going. This doesn't just benefit the lungs, it of course benefits the spine as well. And just getting some movement in the body and connecting the breath to the movement. Good, we'll do a couple more. Exhale, round. Inhale, drop. Exhale, round. And if you're doing this pose with your kiddos who are suffering from allergies, you can also have them make the meowing sounds. Or if you are so inclined to do that while you do this pose, go right ahead. And then come back to a neutral spine when you're finished. The next pose we're going to do is going to be the bridge pose. And what this does is opens up the front of the body and stretches those muscles between the ribs. So when you're doing a lot of coughing and sneezing, you have overworked muscles in between the ribs. So this opens that up, soothes the muscles, and it helps get any blocked air beyond that point where all the mucus and that is. So go ahead and lie down on your back. The heels are going to come close to the bum, so as close as you can. The knees, of course, are bent. We're going to keep the shoulder blades flat on the mat, and you're just going to be looking up at the ceiling. And on your next exhalation, you're going to press the feet, press the hands, and lift the pelvis towards the ceiling. You want to make sure you're not blocking off your throat like this. So we're going to be getting, breath coming through the lungs, but blocking off the throat. That wouldn't be good. So press the back of the body into the front of the body, up towards the ceiling, and open up the chest. Open up the hips. Press the hands down. Press the inner edges of the feet. And you can stay here, for as much as 10 breaths or 2 minutes even. It's all on what you can handle. Just make sure you're breathing. And even if you're here for just 3 breaths, that is fine. You can always come down on an exhalation. Come down with your pelvis hitting first, and then relax the shoulders. Since we're already on our backs, we're going to do the fish pose next. Again, front body opening. If you have a sensitive neck, you want to pay close attention to what you're doing with the placement of your neck. If you have neck injuries, I wouldn't recommend this pose. Just go right on to the next one. What you're going to do is straighten your legs. Your hands are going to go down by the sacrum or the top part of your butt or the very lowest part of your back. Your elbows are going to go under the shoulders. Be sure you're not hunching your shoulders forward. We want to make sure everything is lifted so your arms are getting a lot of strength here. And with the neck, you want the neck to be strong. You want the neck to be an extension of the spine. So we're not bending the neck back, crunching the cervical part of the spine or the neck. We're making the neck long as if there's space in between the vertebra. And we're just lifting the chest, leaning back, and breathing. Inhaling deeply, exhaling completely. Do one more. Inhale, exhale, and then slowly come up. Shoulder stand is going to be the next pose. If you are not interested in getting your legs up in the air or putting them behind your head into plow, then maybe this one is better for your child if you're doing this for your child. But the reason I have you, one of the reasons you have your blankets with you today is to help you with this pose. We need to support our shoulders and our neck for this. I'm going to use the edge of my mat, and what you're going to do is just fold your blanket so it's a couple inches thick. So you have some sort of support like this. And then we're going to line up our shoulders with the edge of the blankets. And then you're going to lift the pelvis almost like when you were in, the bridge pose. You're going to get your hands under your butt. Bring the left leg up. Right leg up. And then you can use your hands to support your lower back. Take a few breaths here. Breathe in, pointing out through the toes or the balls of the feet. Keep the throat open so you're not closing off the neck. Breathing in and out through the belly. Getting some movement in the lungs, turning things upside down. Inversions are good for colds and allergies. Take one more breath here. Keep the legs as straight as you can. And then from here, we're going to go into plow. So if you've made it this far, you could probably start to move the toes behind you. If not, stay in shoulder stand. You can bring your hands down. Take a couple of breaths here. This is actually a very soothing and comforting pose, even though it doesn't look like it. Take your couple of breaths here. And then when you are finished on an exhalation, you can just begin to lower the pelvis into the hands, kind of reversing what you did. We're going to bring one leg down at a time. So the last pose, and one of the more accessible ones, is downward facing dog. Even if your head is full of pressure right now, even if you're feeling very stuffy and full, you're gonna probably feel that pressure while you're upside down in downward facing dog, but if you can bear it, by the time you are finished, you will feel that drainage happening and it will kind of empty your head. If it's painful while you're upside down, of course you don't do it. I'm gonna show you a modified version where you're only going down halfway, so that might be helpful as well. But afterwards it will feel good. So go ahead and come to hands and knees. And then our hands are gonna be, a little bit in front of, or maybe a palm length or two in front of the shoulders. We're gonna curl the toes under. The hands can be a little bit wider than the shoulders. Curl the toes under. Lift the hip sockets towards the ceiling, drop the head. You can, gaze down at your mat while your ears are lined up with your inner arms, or you can gaze between the knees. You can drop your head and let everything hang. You can keep your knees bent so we're not rounding the back just to get the heels on the mat. Keep the knees bent to keep a nice long spine. And here you are in your inversion. So you can probably feel the head draining. Make sure that we're wrapping the shoulder blades to the back of the body, down the back. Good, nice long spine. Press the thigh bones up and back. Pressing the roots of the fingers, the balls of the fingers into the mat to keep weight off the joints. And just stay here for a couple of breaths. If you can only stay for one, that's fine. But when you are finished, just go ahead and come back down to your knees. You can widen the knees and sit back into child's pose. Let the forehead touch the mat. So to do the modified version of the downward facing dog, if your head you're just feeling too much pressure in regular downward facing dog, and you feel like your head might explode, you can go a little bit higher. So I have a chair here, but you can use the kitchen table. You can even go higher and just put your palms on the wall, so you look kind of like an upside down L. But we're gonna use the chair, and you decide what you can handle from there. So again, you're just gonna put the hands on whatever support you have, curl the toes under, and come up. So here I'm still upside down a little bit. If you're up against the wall, you're gonna be a little bit more of a 90-degree angle, and you're just gonna press your palms flat into the wall. So you can go to this level or even go higher. If you're using the wall, the palms will be flat on the wall, like I said, and then you will just walk your feet back and lower your heart towards the floor. Take your few breaths, or stay here as long as it feels good, and then you'll slowly walk the feet in. Okay, last but not least is going to be our Shavasana, because we should always finish our practice with the Shavasana. So if you've gone through the other poses that are in this video, you'll want to definitely finish off with this. Or if you're just sleeping at night, this is a good way to do it. It's to elevate the head and elevate the upper half of the body, so you can allow drainage to happen. Lying flat on your back, of course, is not comfortable when you are full of gunk and crud. So roll up your blankets. If you don't have a bolster, your blankets should look something like this. And I'm going to use a block, a yoga block, to put underneath my supports, but you could also use pillows or something, you know, a stable or sturdy pillow you can just shove underneath this, or even a bed pillow if it's for your child at night or for yourself. So basically, we are just going to have the support a couple inches away from the body, and then straighten the legs out, and then we're just going to line the spine up with the support. And you'll see that my body is at an angle a little bit. You can bring the palms facing up. And this should give you some relief for congestion. You can do this at any time of the day. Unless you're at work, your boss might not appreciate you pulling this out, but you know what I mean. Take a few breaths here, take a few moments here, and just relax. Try to get some relief. Let all the muscles relax. I would recommend staying here for at least 2 to 3 minutes. If you're able to stay here longer, I would do that. To safely come out of this, you'll just bend your knees. Scoot your pelvis off to the side as you roll onto your side. And then you can even rest here for a moment because you're so frustrated from having these annoying allergies for weeks on end. And just take a moment to yourself. And then push yourself up because we don't want to lie flat for too long. And come to a seated position and stand up and go about your day or whatever you need to do. I hope these poses will be somewhat helpful for you and give you some sort of relief for you and your family. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. I love answering questions. I love ideas for videos. If you've enjoyed this video, please like it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe and share with your friends. Namaste.